Hello students, in the last class I had discussed structure of the plasma membrane along with that mitochondria. Today I will be starting with the organelle, that is plastid. So let's start with it. Now the term plastid, it was given by the scientist Haeckel. Now the plastids, they are the cell organelle which are semi-autonomous. They possess double-stranded DNA, and these cell organelles, again just like the mitochondria, they possess envelope which consists of two membranes. So they have double membrane envelope just like the mitochondria. So the plastids, they are semi-autonomous organelles. They possess double-stranded DNA, envelope which is present that consists of two membranes, and these organelles, they are involved in the storage and synthesis of organic compounds. Now the plastids, they are formed from proplastids. So it means the proplastids, they are precursor of plastids, right? So the proplastids, they are precursor of plastids. Now the proplastids, they can form three types of plastid. That is leucoplast, then chloroplast, another one chromoplast. अब ये जो ल्यूकोप्लास्ट है, they can be formed from the proplastid as well as they can be formed from the leucoplast itself. So leucoplast, they can be formed from the leucoplast. For the leucoplast, I am writing L here. Similarly, जो chloroplast है, they can be formed from the proplastids as well as they can be formed from the chloroplast. For the chloroplast, I am writing CH, and this type of the capacity in the chromoplast is absent. The chromoplast cannot form more chromoplast. This ability in the chromoplast is absent. Now, along with this, ये जो plastids है, they can show interconversion, they can show transformation. तो देखिए क्या transformation हो सकती है? The leucoplast can be transformed into the chloroplast. Chloroplast can be transformed into the chromoplast. And the leucoplast can be directly transformed into the chromoplast. तो ये जितनी भी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशंस मैंने यहाँ पर लिखी है जो प्लास्टिड्स के बीच में हो रही है, इन ट्रांसफॉर्मेशंस को हम डिस्कस करेंगे इन दिस लेक्चर बाय साइटिंग द एग्जांपल्स. Now just now I had discussed that there is presence of three types of the plastids. Three types of the plastids are there, and this differentiation is there on the basis of presence or absence of the pigments, right? तो तीन तरह का plastids, that is leucoplast, chromoplast, and chloroplast. So we can differentiate between these three types of the plastids. Now the leucoplasts, they are colorless plastids, right? In the leucoplasts, the pigments, they are absent. So the leucoplasts, they are colorless. Pigments in the leucoplasts, they are absent. The leucoplasts, they can be divided into the three types. They are of three types. Now the first one, that is amyloplast. Now the amyloplasts, they are involved in the storage of starch, right? So they are involved in the starch storage. Now the amyloplasts, they are present in the potato tuber. Potato tuber के अंदर starch storage है. Along with that, they are also present in the wheat grains, right? So एक example यहाँ पर लिखेंगे, that is potato tubers. Another one in the wheat grains. Second type of the leucoplast, that is Chloroplast, also known as proteoplast or proteinoplast. So several names can be there. Chloroplast के अंदर अब protein का storage होगा. That's why they are also known as proteoplast. So now they are involved in the storage of proteins. So one very important example for this I had already discussed in the morphology. The example is maize. Maize के अंदर जो endosperm है, the outermost layer of the endosperm, it is proteinaceous. Yes, the outermost layer is proteinaceous, and what that layer is known as aileron layer. So what is the example here? Example is maize, और maize के अंदर endosperm की outermost layer, that is aileron layer. Aileron cells, they are present. Now the next type of the leucoplast, that is eleoplast. Also known as oleoplast और lipidoplast. तो नाम से ही पता चल रहा है ये जो leucoplast है, it is involved in the storage of the fat. Fat storage में involved है. An example for this is endosperm. Yes, endosperm of castor seed. तो castor seed के अंदर जो endosperm है, that is involved in the starch storage. So example here is castor endosperm. Now coming to the next category, that is chromoplast. Now the chromoplast, they are colored plastids. They range from yellow, the color ranges from yellow to reddish. And the color of the plastid is due to the presence of the pigments which are responsible for this color, that is carotenoids. अब इन chromoplast का देखिए function क्या है. Now chromoplast, they give color to the flowers. Yes, they give color to the flowers, and due to the colorful flowers, the insects, they are attracted, and this is going to help in the pollination. So one of the function, they provide color to the flowers. Which will attract the insects, and this is how it will help in the pollination. Second, it also provides color to the fruits, which attract the animals and help in the fruit dispersal, helps in the seed dispersal. So provide color to the fruits, which attracts the animals and help in the fruit as well as seed dispersal. Along with that, the chromoplasts, they are involved in the synthesis of lipids. Yes? Lipid synthesis is there. Now the chloroplast. Now the chloroplast, again they are colored plastids. Colored plastids, they are green in color. और क्लोरोप्लास्ट के अंदर अब प्रेजेंट है फोटोसिंथेटिक पिगमेंट्स. There is presence of the photosynthetic pigments. That is chlorophyll. Along with that, there is also presence of the carotenoids. So, ये जो plastids हैं, they are involved in the photosynthesis. Yes, these plastids, they will absorb the light energy, utilize this light energy, another inorganic raw material and result in the synthesis of the food. तो ये जो plastid है, ये photosynthesis में involved है. So, we can say that these plastids, they are photosynthetic plastids. तो ये बात समझ आई है आपको कि the leucoplasts, they are colorless plastids which are involved in the storage. Chromoplasts, they are colored plastids and the function is that they are going to attract the insects and animals which helps in the pollination and dispersal of the seeds. Chloroplast, इसके अंदर present है photosynthetic pigments. So these plastids, they are known as photosynthetic plastids. So here now I will be discussing the chloroplast in detail. So now let's start with the chloroplast. The term chloroplast, it was given by the scientist Schimper. तो क्लोरोप्लास्ट के अंदर जो फर्स्ट फीचर यहां पर हम डिस्कस करेंगे दैट इज द शेप ऑफ क्लोरोप्लास्ट. नाउ इन द केस ऑफ द लोअर प्लांट्स दैट इज एल्गी, स्पेसिफिकली ग्रीन एल्गी. ग्रीन एल्गी के अंदर देयर इज ग्रेट वेरिएशन विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द शेप ऑफ द क्लोरोप्लास्ट. लाइक इन द स्पायरोगेरा, स्पायरोगेरा के अंदर जो क्लोरोप्लास्ट की शेप है दैट इज रिबन शेप. यस, रिबन शेप क्लोरोप्लास्ट विच इज ट्विस्टेड, राइट. तो यहां पर रिबन शेप कंडीशन. देन क्लमाइडोमोनास. क्लमाइडोमोनास के अंदर आपको याद आ रहा है, आई हैड डिस्कस दिस इन द थैलोफाइट्स. क्लमाइडोमोनास के अंदर प्रेजेंट है कप शेप क्लोरोप्लास्ट. Then Eulothrix. Eulothrix process U-shape, collar-shaped chloroplast. Zygnema. Zygnema के अंदर present है star-shaped chloroplast. Another example for the green alga, that is Oedogonium. In the case of the Oedogonium, reticulate chloroplast is there. So this was about the green alga. Let's see now what is the condition with respect to the higher plants. जो higher plants हैं, there the shape of chloroplast can be spheroid, it can be ovoid, disc shape or lens shape. So these different types of the shapes can be associated with the higher plants, but you please keep this in mind. The most common type of the shape which is present in the higher plants with respect to the chloroplast, that is lens shape. Now, after the shape, let's see what is the dimensions of the chloroplast. Now, the length of chloroplast is 5 to 10 micrometer and the width of chloroplast is 2 to 4 micrometer. So this is the range for the chloroplast with respect to the dimension. Now after this, now I will be discussing the ultrastructure for the chloroplast, right? I had discussed this, that in the chloroplast there is presence of two membranes. Envelope, it consists of two membranes. तो ये मैं क्लोरोप्लास्ट बना रही हूं. क्लोरोप्लास्ट के अंदर ये मैंने बनाई है आउटर मेम्ब्रेन. Yes, this is outer membrane and this one is inner membrane of the chloroplast. So, envelope in the chloroplast, it consists of two membranes. Yes, this one is outer membrane and this one is inner membrane. Outer membrane की जो permeability है वो ज़्यादा है. Yes, permeability is more. Why the permeability is more? Because of the presence of the large pore size channels. Yes, these channels, they are known as porins. But in the inner membrane, the porins, they are absent. These channels, they are absent. Inner membrane is selectively permeable. आउटर और इनर मेम्ब्रेन, इन दोनों के बीच में ये जो स्पेस प्रेजेंट है, दैट इज इंटर मेम्ब्रेन स्पेस. यस, दिस स्पेस विच इज प्रेजेंट, दिस इज इंटर मेम्ब्रेन स्पेस. अब ये जो इनर मेम्ब्रेन के अंदर ये वाला जो पार्ट है, दिस पार्ट इज डिवाइडेड इनटू द टू पोर्शंस, that is stroma and thylakoid. So you're getting this? This inner part, it is divided into the two portions. The two portions, that is stroma and thylakoid. अब thylakoids के अंदर तो present है membranous structure. Yes, the thylakoids, they consist of membranous structure, जो अभी यहाँ पर हम डिस्कस करेंगे. And the stroma, it consists of protein complex. It is a proteinaceous complex. So first of all, let's start with the membranous structure, that is the thylakoids. इस क्लोरोप्लास्ट के अंदर ये मैं sac like membranous structure बना रही हूं. Yes, this sac like membranous structure which I am forming in the chloroplast, this represent thylakoid. Yes, तो ये जो एक sac मैंने बनाया है, this is known as thylakoid. The thylakoids, they are loose, sac-like. That's why the thylakoids, they are also known as baggy trousers, right? Loose है, sac-like है, इसलिए हम इनको कह सकते हैं baggy trousers. Now what happens? The several thylakoids, they are placed one above the other. Yes, you can see the stacking is there. So several thylakoids, they are placed one above the other. और ये जो stack यहाँ पर बना thylakoid का, this structure which is formed, this structure is known as granum. Singular is granum and plural is grana. इस ग्रानम के अंदर द नंबर ऑफ थैलेकॉइड्स विच कैन बी प्रेजेंट दैट रेंजेस फ्रॉम 2 to 100. एक ग्रानम के अंदर 2 to 100 थैलेकॉइड प्रेजेंट हो सकते हैं. And in the whole chloroplast, the number of the grana which can be present that ranges from 40 to 60. So you're getting this? In the chloroplast, the number of grana which can be present ranges from 40 to 60. तो इस क्लोरोप्लास्ट के अंदर मैं और ग्राना बना रही हूं. So you can see this stacking of the thylakoids is there. अब जितने भी ग्राना इसके अंदर प्रेजेंट है क्लोरोप्लास्ट के अंदर, now these grana they show association, they are interconnected. Yes, these grana they are interconnected with the help of the membranous structure. They are interconnected with the help of the membranous structure. और ये जो structure interconnection के अंदर help कर रहे हैं, these structures they are known as stroma lamellae. They are helping in the connection. They are helping in the connection. That's why they can also be known as fret lamellae. अब ये जो थैलेकॉइड्स है ना, थैलेकॉइड्स के अंदर ये जो मेम्ब्रेन हम यहां पर दिखा रहे हैं, द मेम्ब्रेन ऑफ द थैलेकॉइड्स इट कंटेन्स फोटोसिंथेटिक पिगमेंट्स. सो मेम्ब्रेन कंटेन्स photosynthetic pigments. You might be knowing that the photosynthesis, it is divided into the two phases, that is light reaction and dark reaction. And in the thylakoid membrane, the light reaction will occur. It is the site for the light reaction of photosynthesis. This one is clear? तो ये यहां पर हमने बात करी है थैलेकॉइड्स की. थैलेकॉइड की मेम्ब्रेन में प्रेजेंट है फोटोसिंथेटिक पिगमेंट्स, एंड दीज फोटोसिंथेटिक पिगमेंट्स दे हेल्प इन द लाइट रिएक्शन ऑफ द फोटोसिंथेसिस. एंड दिस प्रोटीनेशियस कॉम्प्लेक्स व्हिच इज प्रेजेंट हियर, दिस रिप्रेजेंट्स स्ट्रोमा. ये जो प्रोटीनेशियस कॉम्प्लेक्स है, दिस रिप्रेजेंट्स स्ट्रोमा, or you can say it as, call it as matrix. अब स्ट्रोमा के अंदर प्रेजेंट है डबल स्ट्रैंडेड सर्कुलर डीएनए. यस, double stranded circular DNA, the same we had studied in the case of mitochondria. माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया के अंदर भी अपना डीएनए प्रेजेंट है, अपना जेनेटिक मटेरियल प्रेजेंट है. Along with the DNA, there is also presence of the ribosomal. Along with the DNA, there is also presence of the protein factories. तो डीएनए के साथ साथ यहां पर मैं बना रही हूं प्रोटीन फैक्टरीज. इट इज वेरी वेल नोन टू यू दैट दीज प्रोटीन फैक्टरीज दे रिप्रेजेंट ribosomes, and the type of ribosomes which are associated with the chloroplast, with the plastid, that is 70S. So you can see here इन ऑर्गेनेलीज के अंदर प्रेजेंट है डीएनए और इस ऑर्गेनेली के अंदर प्रेजेंट है राइबोसोम, ड्यू टू विच दीज ऑर्गेनेलीज दे कैन फॉर्म देयर ओन प्रोटीन. Yes, some of the proteins they can form themselves. अपने आप बना सकते हैं. That's why the nature of the plastid, just like the mitochondria, is semi-autonomous. तो माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया की तरह ही हम यहां पर कह सकते हैं द नेचर ऑफ द प्लास्टिड्स इज सेमी-ऑटोनॉमस. And again, just like the mitochondria, they are believed to be bacterial endosymbiont. They are believed to be bacterial endosymbiont. Right? जैसे मैंने अभी बताया कि जो thylakoid है, that is the site for the light reaction, and you please keep this in mind, that is the stroma. Stroma is the site for dark reaction. डार्क रिएक्शन परफॉर्म करने के लिए यहां पर एक इंपॉर्टेंट एंजाइम प्रेजेंट है. द नेम ऑफ द एंजाइम इज Rubisco. This important enzyme is present. Now the Rubisco, it is the most abundant protein in the organic world. Yes, so this is most abundant protein. Yes, you can write, you can note down the full form of the Rubisco. That is the ribulose biphosphate carboxylase oxygenase enzyme. It is ribulose biphosphate carboxylase oxygenase enzyme, and you will learn about this enzyme more in the photosynthesis chapter. Now, Rubisco के बाद अब यहां पर हम डिस्कस करेंगे कि ये जो क्लोरोप्लास्ट है, इस क्लोरोप्लास्ट के अंदर हमने बनाया है ये ग्राना. तो जिस क्लोरोप्लास्ट के अंदर ग्राना बनेगा उसको हम कहेंगे ग्रानल क्लोरोप्लास्ट. एंड इफ द ग्राना फॉर्मेशन इज एब्सेंट देन दे आर नोन एज ए ग्रानल क्लोरोप्लास्ट. सो हियर वी विल डिस्कस कि ग्रानल और ए ग्रानल कंडीशन कहां पर प्रेजेंट है. So on the basis of the presence or absence of the grana, now the chloroplast can be divided into the two types. अगर क्लोरोप्लास्ट के अंदर ग्राना बनेगा तो हम कह सकते हैं ग्रानल क्लोरोप्लास्ट, राइट. और अगर क्लोरोप्लास्ट के अंदर द ग्राना फॉर्मेशन इज एब्सेंट, दिस इज नोन एज ए ग्रानल क्लोरोप्लास्ट. अब ये जो ग्रानल कंडीशन है, दिस इज प्रेजेंट इन दी हायर प्लांट्स, ब्रायोफाइट, टेरिडोफाइट, जिम्नोस्पर्म, एंजियोस्पर्म्स. सो यू आर गेटिंग दिस. ग्रानल कंडीशन इज प्रेजेंट इन ब्रायोफाइट, टेरिडोफाइट, जिम्नोस्पर्म एंड एंजियोस्पर्म्स. And the agranal condition, this is seen in green alga. This is seen in green alga. Green algae के अंदर the granum formation is absent, right? इसके अलावा यहाँ पर मैं एक कैटेगरी ऑफ एंजियोस्पर्मिक प्लांट लिख रही हूं, that is the C4 plants. जो एंजियोस्पर्मिक प्लांट्स है, on the basis of the photosynthetic activity, we divide them into the three types: C3, C4 and CAM plants. Here I am talking about the C4 plants. C4 plants के अंदर leaf में there is presence of bundle sheath cells. And in the bundle sheath cells there is presence of agranal chloroplast. And in rest of the cells which possess the chloroplast, there is presence of granule chloroplast. तो ये बात समझ आ रही है कि ये जो ग्रानल कंडीशन है ये प्रेजेंट है हायर प्लांट्स के अंदर, ए ग्रानल कंडीशन प्रेजेंट है लोअर प्लांट्स के अंदर. पर यहां पर एंजियोस्पर्मिक प्लांट्स में मैंने एक कैटेगरी बताई है C4 प्लांट्स, जिसके अंदर ग्रानल कंडीशन भी है और ए ग्रानल कंडीशन भी है. और ए ग्रानल कंडीशन इज प्रेजेंट इन द लीफ सेल्स. एंड व्हाट आर दीज लीफ सेल्स? दैट इज द बंडल शीथ सेल्स. You will learn more about the C4 plants and their photosynthetic activity in the chapter that is photosynthesis. Now, after this structure of the chloroplast, now I will be discussing functions associated with it. Now, the chloroplast is involved in photosynthesis. And you know that in the photosynthesis, two phases are there. That is light phase and dark phase. So just now I had discussed what is the site for the light reaction. The site for the light reaction is thylakoids, right? And the site for the dark reaction is stroma. तो अब लाइट रिएक्शन के अंदर क्या होगा? लाइट रिएक्शन के अंदर जो फोटोसिंथेटिक पिगमेंट्स थाइलाकॉइड मेम्ब्रेन के अंदर प्रेजेंट है, दे विल एब्सॉर्ब द लाइट एनर्जी. Yes, they will trap the light energy and they will convert light energy into the chemical energy. So you're getting this? Thylakoid membrane के अंदर जो photosynthetic pigments हैं, they will absorb the light energy और light energy को convert करेंगे chemical energy के अंदर. Light energy is converted into the chemical energy and results in the production of ATP. It's very well known to you that ATP is energy currency of cell. The full form of the ATP is adenosine triphosphate. Another one is NADPH, that is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate hydrogen. Yes, I am repeating this. Nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate hydrogen. तो इसका मतलब लाइट रिएक्शन के अंदर बनाया गया है ATP एंड NADPH. ये जो ATP और NADPH लाइट रिएक्शन के अंदर बनाया, अब ये डार्क रिएक्शन के अंदर यूटिलाइज होगा फॉर द कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड फिक्सेशन for forming the sugars. In the dark reaction, the carbon dioxide will be fixed, resulting in the formation of the sugar, and the pathway which is involved here, that is Calvin cycle, after the name of the discoverer, that is Calvin. And this pathway के अंदर जो एक एंजाइम इन्वॉल्व होगा जिसका नाम अभी मैंने लिया है, that is the Rubisco. So you please keep this in mind that Rubisco is principal enzyme of the chloroplast. It is marker enzyme of the chloroplast. ये chloroplast की पहचान है. So you please write this. Now the Rubisco, it is principal or you can say marker enzyme of the chloroplast. So one function of the chloroplast that it is involved in the photosynthetic activity resulting in the formation of the sugars. Now the next one, that the chloroplast is involved in the storage of starch. So after this, now I will be discussing the transformation within the plastids by taking the suitable examples. So let's discuss the transformations between the plastids. So for explaining the transformation in the plastids, the first example which I will be citing here, that is for tomato. टोमेटो के अंदर जो यंग ओवरी है, that young ovary is colorless. young ovary is colorless due to the presence of the colorless plastid, that is leucoplast. ये जो ओवरी है इसकी हुई फर्टिलाइजेशन के बाद बना फ्रूट. यस, फर्टिलाइजेशन के बाद बना फ्रूट, और जो यंग फ्रूट है, इस यंग फ्रूट के अंदर द ल्यूकोप्लास्ट हैज बीन कन्वर्टेड इनटू द क्लोरोप्लास्ट. Leucoplast has been converted into the chloroplast. That's why the young fruit now it will appear green in color. अब ये fruit है, ये mature हुआ, तो mature fruit के अंदर देखिए क्या conversion हुई है. In the mature fruit, the chloroplast has been transformed into chromoplast. And due to this transformation, now the fruit, it will appear red in color. So you can see the transformation from the colorless to the green to the red. तो ये जो transformation हो रही है color के अंदर due to the changes in the plastid from the leucoplast to the chromoplast. Another example which I will be citing here, that is for chili. कैप्सिकम. तो कैप्सिकम हम जब मार्केट से लेके आते हैं, दैट कैप्सिकम इज ऑफ ग्रीन कलर, राइट? जनरली इट इज ऑफ ग्रीन कलर. तो ग्रीन कलर जो कैप्सिकम का है वो किसकी वजह से है? दैट इज ड्यू टू द क्लोरोप्लास्ट. So green color for the chili is due to the presence of the chloroplast. But what you see कि कुछ दिनों के बाद ये जो green color capsicum है, it changes its color to the red one. तो ये जो green capsicum है ये red के अंदर किसकी वजह से हुई? Because now there has been transformation from the chloroplast to the chromoplast, which changes the color of the capsicum from the green to the red. So this was all about the transformation of the plastids. Now I will be starting with the endomembrane system.